everybody, I'm Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, we are going to be talking about sticker laminates. Now, why is this such an important topic? Well, because when you make stickers, you want them to hold up, and adding a laminate to them can make them hold up so much better and so much longer. But what laminate's the best one? What's going to get you the best value? What's going to work the best? And really, what's easiest to apply? Because applying a laminate can be a little bit tricky, so we're going to go over all of those different things today in this tutorial. I'm going to print out some butterfly stickers and I'll link them down below in case you like them, but I don't think you need to see me set that up. If you want to see some print and cut tutorials, I'll link some in the video's description for you, but truly setting up stickers to print is super easy and a lot of fun. Now we're going to go over a few brands. We're going to use Frisco Craft. I have this random brand from Amazon that I really like and I've been using a long time. We also are going to do HTV Ront. We're going to do two types of Cricut because I could only find a double pack that has clear and holographic in it. And then we're going to do another brand that Amazon suggested to me, and it is called You Ink It. I've used this brand for some other things as well, so I've been, familiar with the brand. But without further ado, let's go ahead. We're going to apply some laminate. We're going to do some test cutting. That way you guys can see how I perform test cuts, especially when working with new products. It's so important that you do that. So without further ado, let's get started. But before we do, be sure that you're subscribed.
We're going to rate this with 5 different categories, so everything is as fair as possible. The first one is ease of application of the laminate, and we're going to rate these 1 through 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Cut quality of the laminate. We're also going to rate this with clarity, meaning how clear do the stickers remain and how colorful. Plus, we're also going to talk about adhesion. How well does it stick to the sticker paper? And last but not least will be durability.
When working with laminate, one really important step to keep in mind is test cutting. So what I have is a blank piece of the sticker paper that we're going to use. I used the same sticker paper for all of our designs, and I have all of our laminates over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some test cuts for our laminate to see which one's going to cut best on which type of laminate. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label this, and it doesn't really matter like how clean or neat this is. I'm just going to write Amazon because that's where this laminate is from, and I'm going to use this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this to the test sheet. Now you're always going to want to do a test cut when you're working with new materials, but especially when you're working with laminates, because you don't want to ruin an entire sheet of stickers to, mess them all up. So when I apply my laminate, I just kind of set it down, and I'll give you better directions when I actually do the full sheet, but we'll go through the test cuts pretty quickly. So I'm just going to lay this down. If this is not perfect, I don't care. I just need it down onto the sheet so that we can test cut this. And we're going to be test cutting just a little star. Now I'm going to use my green mat. This one is not real sticky. It's been around the block. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. And the first cut that I'm going to start with is the medium cardstock. That one's usually the winner for me as far as cutting is concerned, but you can see that I've got the laminate just up here on the top, and we'll do them all throughout this sheet, and I may just cut smaller squares. This one I just had that line. So let's go ahead, choose our cut setting, and give it a try. Because we're not using actual print and cut for this, it's just going to cut the star out. It doesn't need to read any of the lines. So I'll pull this down a little bit so you can see it. And like I said, all it's going to do is it's just going to cut that little star, and we're going to see how it does. Once it's done, all we do is unload, and we just check how it cut, and it looks like it cut beautifully for the Amazon brand on the medium cardstock setting. So I'm going to stick with that one for our Amazon brand.
While we perform some test cuts here in the background, let's go ahead and talk about why you would want to laminate your stickers and when you should do it. One of the big reasons that I prefer to laminate my stickers is especially if I know that it's going on something that's going to be handled a lot, like the front of a notebook, or maybe I'm going to put it on my laptop. Something like that is when I would want to laminate my sticker. I also like to laminate them if I'm selling them or giving them away because it gives them a more professional look. Plus, it also prevents any scratches, which kind of goes along with the being handled a lot. But I think laminate really does help with any kind of scratches. Now, especially when you're using inkjet ink, because it's a liquid, not a powder, they can tend to be a little smudgy, especially if you don't cover them with something. So the laminate can really help prevent any of those ink smudges.
I have all of our sticker paper and our laminate over here on the side. So what I want to do, just so I can remember which laminate is on each one, is I'm just going to take this little empty space right here and just write what brand I'm going to put on this. So this is Frisco Craft. And just to go over that, this cut on the heavy watercolor. So I'm just going to kind of label what it cuts on, just so I remember, and also to help you guys. Then we have the HTV Ront, which is this one. That one cut on heavy cardstock. So we'll just label this. And I'm just going to do that for each of these, just so that it's easier for everybody to keep track of what we're working on, because they're all really going to look pretty much the same once they've had their adhesive put on them. Now our next step is to apply all of the laminate. So I'm going to show you how to apply one of them, and then the rest is all going to be the same. The one I'm not looking super forward to is Frisco, because it's just in a big roll, and that roll is large compared to our sheet, but we'll just cut it down. Now with Cricut, they have this easy peel edge, which fantastic, makes life so simple. Now what you want to do is you're going to line up the tip-toppity tip of your page. I'm going to cover up my registration lines. Some people tell you not to. I've never had a problem doing so. So I'm just going to be a rebel and do that, because I don't have any problems when I do that. I'm going to get this lined up, and you want to get it as straight and as flat as you can. Once you have this top section down, I do recommend a squeegee with a felt tip, and I'll link this one down below. This one's a big one. This is a 6-inch squeegee. It's great for this. You're going to fold your laminate over, and then you're going to push on the back portion. So you're going to push right back here where the paper meets the edge. Now you may need to start this rolling off a little bit, but once you do, it's going to roll off real easy, and you just want to take your squeegee and work your way down the paper, and you're going to do this very carefully. This way you don't end up with any bubbles or anything in your design. Now if you're off a little bit on the sides, don't worry too much. It's not going to cut those sides anyways. So if it's not 100% perfect, you should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and get this one put on, and like I said, all the rest of them are going to be put on in the exact same manner. So I'll let you watch me do it, but we're going to do it in like super fast speed. That way you're not stuck watching me, but you can see now I have these gorgeous holographic stickers with our Cricut sticker laminate. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them done, and then we'll get ready to cut.
Let's cover a couple of questions I got on Instagram while we're applying our laminate film here. So somebody asked, would a glossy sticker paper work just as well if you just want a plain gloss finish? And no, that kind of goes along with the same thing I said earlier, where if it's handled a lot, it can prevent the scratching, it can prevent any of the smudging, especially with an inkjet printer. And somebody else wants to know, what is a good waterproof sticker paper? Honestly, I've yet to find one that works with an inkjet printer really well. However, if you'd like to know more about waterproof stickers and a way that I found to make them, but you have to use sublimation, I'll link that video up in the corner for you, because I do think it's a great way and it does work really well. Those stickers are still holding up to this day, and it's been probably like 8 months since I made that. But using inkjet ink, you're never going to get a true waterproof sticker.
Now that we've put all of the laminate on, we're going to start cutting out. I'm going to start with Amazon. I will label each of these as they cut. I don't think you need to necessarily watch them all in real time cutting out. So I will speed that up, and then we can talk about how each of them cut, how they turned out, and what laminate we think is the best.
As we watch these cut, let's talk about some of my favorite sticker papers. Now, while Cricut is not necessarily my favorite, it isn't bad for a price when you can get it for pretty inexpensive. I don't love it. I do think it's a little thick, and I hate the fact that it has the logo on the back. It just looks really unprofessional, especially if you're giving these away or selling them. It's just not what I would recommend. Now, I do, however, really, really love Nito sticker paper, and I'll link that one down below. It comes in a bunch of different finishes and types. They've got clear, they've got glossy, they've got matte. That has been my number one go-to, where I find that I get the best color, the best durability, and the best just in general cut with that brand. But there are other sticker papers that I like as well. HTV Ront has a sticker paper that's pretty okay. So I'll link all the stuff that I like down below, plus the stuff that I'm using here in this video, in case you want to check any of that out. Now, keep in mind that what I like may not be what you like, and that's totally okay. It's really important to find something that works for what you're making, works for how you want it to look and perform. So I just give you suggestions, and if you don't love it, that's okay. But I'll link below my stuff because I do truly love the stuff, and I've used Nito sticker paper for years and have been really, really pleasantly surprised with how well it has held up.
What I want to do is try placing these onto a surface, and I'm just going to use this cup, and I am going to label them with a Sharpie, which may or may not hold up, but I do have these in the order of which I know. So this one here is Frisco Craft. So we'll start with that, and I'm just going to very carefully slide those up because, like I said, I know which order they're in. That way it'll help. So this one's going to be Frisco Craft. So let me put this one on to our cup first. Now, one thing that I'm going to kind of judge this on is how easy is this to remove from the backing, because sometimes having a laminate can actually make it harder, but that was pretty easy. So again, I'm just going to place this and just see how I think it placed, which I think placed pretty good, because again, laminate can actually really affect that as well. So I'm going to just label this, and this is Frisco. And then this one here is Amazon, and this is the Amazon holographic, which honestly I don't think is super sparkly, but that kind of is good because sometimes it can be too sparkly, which you'll see here in a minute. But when removing from the backing, let's see how we feel about that. I don't, this one's kind of not great, not terrible, but it was a little hard to find the edge. But I think some of that's because it is a thinner laminate. So let me go ahead and I'm going to put this one, I'm going to try to keep them all kind of on the same side. So I'm going to just try to space them out a little bit. And then this one is Amazon. Ignore my terrible Z. This one here is the HTV Ront. So this one is just a plain gloss. Again, we'll try peeling it back, and I'm going to try the same corner on all of them. This one peeled really, really easy. It doesn't feel really heavy. It's pretty nice. We'll put that one next to Amazon. We'll call this one HTV Ront. Okay. Then we've got, this is the Cricut holographic, which I think really is a bit too holographic. It really dulls the color, and I don't love that. Let's see if we can peel. Oh, that peels really easy. The laminate does make the sticker paper a little thicker, which makes it easier to figure out. So I'm just going to label these two Cricut, because obviously you can tell the difference between Cricut holographic and just plain Cricut. So Cricut. And then this one is the clear Cricut laminate, which feels really the same as the holographic, but I did the holographic because it came in the pack, so I figured we should try it. So we'll go ahead and stick this one down. All of them are applying very, very easily, which I think is nice. And I'll make sure to take a picture of this so that if the Sharpie washes off, I'll know which one is which. And then this one is the You Like, which it's already peeling a little bit, but I don't think that it's peeling off the full backing of our sticker. So again, we're going to start from this corner. Sure we are. There we go. Oh, now this one I'm not loving already. I've already got the laminate peeling away from the actual sticker, which I didn't have on any of the other ones. This one also is pretty thick and heavy. So like applying anything bigger to like a curved surface. And also some of the backing stuck to this antenna. So like it's not gonna stick down correctly because it's still got paper backing on it. And I don't know if I can get that off without damaging the antenna. I'm gonna just have to leave that, I think. And we have, this one is the You Ink It brand. So now that I've got these all on our cup, I'm gonna let them sit for just a little bit. I'm gonna work on something else. I'm gonna let that Sharpie dry, and then I wanna take these and get them wet. Just like run some water over them, stuff like that, just to sort of see how they hold up. Now, Cricut brand sticker paper is not waterproof, but I just wanna see how the laminate kind of holds up and if it helps keep any of the water off of them.
So I'm just going to put some lukewarm, I guess it's cool water. It's not even that warm water over this. I'm just going to run this over the stickers. I haven't done anything fancy or anything like that. And like I said, Cricut sticker paper is not waterproof, but I just want to see kind of how the laminate protects against water. And I've obviously used the same sticker for each of these just so we have a better understanding of like how they look, whether the laminate held up at all, whether the laminate peeled away from the sticker, anything like that. I'm going to get this wet and then I'm going to let this air dry for a little while just to allow any of that water to like seep into the sticker. That's going to give us a better understanding of how well this held up. Now, here's what it came out to. So the Frisco one didn't do terribly, but it is peeling a little bit and the water definitely seeped under. HTV Ront, again, had some seepage, but the sticker itself's holding pretty okay. The Amazon one had a lot of seepage for the water, and then the Cricut ones actually didn't do too bad. I think they did okay, all things considered, but you can really see how dull that color is. And then the You Ink It was terrible. It's already peeling. It looks terrible. It did not hold up at all. So I think this is a great way to kind of see how it holds up against water, just to give it another test. Let's go over everybody's ratings so we can see what comes out on top. The first one that we're going to look at is Amazon. I think this one is like very towards the top. The ease of application is a little tough because it's not real thick, so it does tend to wrinkle a little bit, so it takes a little bit more finesse to get it down, and I don't think it's as durable as I wish, and sometimes it cuts a little funny because it can snag on the laminate. Now, the HTV Ront, I think the application was okay, but it was too big for the sheet, so that made it annoying. It was really hard to cut. The clarity's great on it. I think it sticks to the sticker itself really well, and it's not super thick. It doesn't make your sticker feel like it's like a big plastic sheet, and I do think that it is relatively durable compared to some of the others. Now, this one here is your Cricut Hollow. Ease of application, super simple to apply. Cut quality, kind of iffy. The clarity, absolutely terrible, but it sticks to the sticker pretty darn well. I didn't have any like lifting or anything, but it did let in quite a bit of water, which is why the durability only got a 4, but it doesn't feel really thick or heavy. Now, the Cricut Clear is going to be basically the same, except in the clarity department, it's a little bit clearer, but I do still think it dulls your stickers a little bit too much. The cut quality, again, was kind of iffy on that one. Super easy to apply, but the adhesion and the durability of the Cricut Clear was pretty good, so I would say I was relatively impressed with that one. Now, the Frisco Craft, pain in the butt to apply because you have to cut it down. The cut quality was absolutely awful. The clarity is really great on this one, and the adhesion, not so great. It's really easy to peel it right back up off of the sticker, and it just didn't feel like it held on, which is why I gave it a 2 for durability as well. I just don't think it's going to hold up. The next one that we have here is the You Ink It. It was okay to apply, but not great. The cut quality was awful. I hated cutting it. It took forever. The clarity is really good, though. I would say that it keeps its color pretty well, but it was so easy to peel right back off of this that I gave it a 2, and I just don't think that it's going to hold up durability-wise compared to the others. I wanted to show you them all together. So the very top on the left is HTV Ront, followed by Amazon, then Cricut Clear, Cricut Holographic, then you have Frisco and the You Ink It. I'm going to link everything I used down below in case you want to try out any of these laminates for yourself. But I think for me, my top laminate really is going to be HTV Ront or the Cricut, and I do think they held up pretty well. So I would say try out some laminates for yourself, see what works best for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you.